This is the vlog for November 17th, 2018. It's late, and I have to get up early tomorrow morning. I somehow tricked myself into thinking I was leaving on Monday. I'm actually returning a week from Monday, but we're leaving tomorrow. And I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning so that I can leave by 5:30 so that we can make our flight, which does arrive, in the early evening, about 5 o'clock. So I should have time to do a vlog once I arrive in Washington, D.C., Alexandria. Anna has still not had her baby yet, so she's probably going to be having labor induced tomorrow. Probably, God, I don't know if it'll be before or after we land. She's been making sure that my dad knows where the hospital is and that they have a car and can make it to do everything. I don't know what we do except wait in the emergency room, not the emergency room, I don't even know where it is, the waiting area. That's going to be sort of frustrating if instead of being able to do a vlog from the Airbnb, I need to figure out a way to do it at the hospital, if that's even allowed. You guys will forgive me if I miss one day, given the circumstances of the day in particular. It was an anime night tonight. Fewer and fewer people are showing up. I think a lot of the people who are still in school are caught up with school stuff. December should be a lot more free time for most everybody, I hope, as the semesters will probably be ending right after Thanksgiving, actually, if I remember my school days, college days. I went to college for 5 years, but it wasn't because I was studying supremely hard or preparing for a difficult degree. I took 5 years because I was at a community college for 2 years, and then before transferring to the University of Washington, I decided I wanted to take a year off to work and get real life experience. I got fired. That was when I was working at the game store. It was never going to work out. The manager knew that I wasn't going to stick around, so she didn't want to give me managerial responsibility and then have to train somebody else to do the job anyway when I went back to school. I got fired because somebody from the corporate side of the company came in and was never greeted properly or shown around the store. It was a very busy Sunday, and the only other person working, this was a game store, was sitting around painting his miniatures, leaving me to handle everybody in the store, all the register stuff. It was not fair, and she hired me back at a part-time position, but I eventually went back to school. But I am not a very good student. At least I wasn't when I was in my 20s. I took low amounts of credits per quarter while I skated through living with my folks. And right after I graduated in 2005 was when I got my job at Nintendo. I started community college in 1999, and I finished university in 2005. Looks like 6 years, minus the one that I was working. So yeah, 5 years. And I always wonder if I'd taken more courses, if I'd taken more credits per quarter, and I'd finished in 2004, how would my life be different? I knew people that had gotten work at Nintendo a year before I had. I was sort of following in their footsteps. And they've all gone on to do sort of bigger and better things. I got high up at Nintendo testing, but it was never a very solid position. I still, as you may have remembered, had to take 2 months off every year because I was technically a part-time employee working through a temp agency. All these things go through my head, what could have been, different possibilities. A lot of that goes into my writing, and I'm sort of thankful for that. But I also wonder, what would have happened if I just started writing as soon as I was done with school? Tried to get a book published back 10 years ago, 13 years ago. I never had the confidence to write a real book when I was in school. I looked around and I felt like I was surrounded by people that knew how to write better than I did. I wonder exactly how many of my classmates when I was at university went on to publish books. I dare say it was probably a pretty small amount. And I wonder if their books are any better than the books that I'm writing right now. The most frustrating thing, though, is knowing that I can write better than I do. I'd say that maybe 40% of what I write I feel really good about. The other 60%, well, sometimes I feel like I write 60% and I feel good about it. But at least half the time I feel like I'm not doing that well and that I could be doing better. And I wonder if it's just going to take publishing a bunch of novels, or at least writing a bunch of novels, to really get where I want to be. And then I get dark thoughts like, do I really want to take my Daigaia universe and sludge through becoming a better writer with that universe? Or do I want my first book to be a masterpiece, and then every book after that is just another masterpiece? I need to write, and I need to write more. And I would love to get published because that would give me the shot of confidence that I really need to keep at this. I enjoy it, but I'm always so worried about being a disappointment. Well, enough of these dark thoughts. I need to go and try and fall asleep. So I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.